All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kodash, the blameless to the elders and apostles of Grave and Stone. Shalom to the elect which in this word in truth and in sincerity, with hope of receiving mercy of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father. Yahushai is the name of his only begotten Son. These so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans are the Israelites according to the prophecies that are written in the scriptures. I want to make it known that the RFID microchip is the MOTB. The serpent juice is the precursor to the MOTB. Yahushai, whom dwelling in the called Jesus, is about to make his return upon the earth to deliver his elect and to pour out judgment as it is written. So I want to go straight into this lesson concerning the MOTB system that is about to be unleashed, let me use that word, upon the world. And I was watching a clip and what took place in the time of the Greek rule. This is exactly what's going to take place now on steroids, yo. So I just want to jump straight into it without that this is edifying. So this is First Maccabees 1 verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathens agree according to the commandments of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelites consent to his religion, and sacrifice unto idols, and profane the Sabbath. And this is exactly how a lot of people will consent unto the MOTB. Especially when you get mandated, especially when you can't buy nor sell without being a part of the system, because when you rely so heavily on the government. And this is more so for you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and those that are dwelling among the heathens, even looking like the heathens that are of the stock of Jacob. So just as though in that time you have a lot of people consent unto the system that was being rolled out, so there won't be one people, that is why a lot of people have consent unto this MOTB system when it started being mandated, Because what was one of the reasons why a lot of people consent? Fear. Fear. And that's exactly what a lot of people are going. Fear the chaos with them see Esau a do, but them don't understand who I bring that fear upon the earth, His name is Yahweh. And his only begotten son, Yahushai, is going to deliver his elect. And this is what this is where our hope lies on, Not trusting in the ways of this world, but trusting in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the words that were declared aforetime for our learning. Because we see what's coming, we see it very clear. For the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offering and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbath and festival days, and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. So them already know. So these things are unlawful for the Israelites. But them already know. So once Israel is not the right word to use. Once Israel is not pleasing, let me say that word, to the Lord, they are going to be judged. So the heathens, they purposely make our people go off. by following ways that is not profitable unto them. So I want to show you a clip now of what's coming.
I believe the progress that we have made in the partnership sets us up well for the new world order.
Davos, we know there's the big housing speech. What else can we anticipate?
There's also going to be some look at the new world order that President Trump is creating. And, a lot of countries that were, whining about tariffs 6 months ago and saying that President Trump was going to harm their economies had pretty good years. And I think it's in part because people recognize that President Trump has made it so that we are the shining city on the hill again. We are the engine of global economic growth because the U.S. is really that strong again.
At its core, final word, Europe was born as a project of peace. And Canada, over the years, over the decades, has served alongside European allies in pursuit of that peace. It's that, in those circumstances, from Vimy to Juno, that the world came to know the value of our strength. But now we're working alongside the European Union to combat climate change, to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, and to protect, amongst other things, academic and scientific freedoms. In these ways, the world knows the strength of our values. And this partnership, which is in defense and security and economics, really builds those strengths in both our jurisdictions and lives up to our values.
Yesterday when you met with Premier Lee, one of the things you said in the public remarks was this partnership, Canada and China, this new partnership sets us up well for the new world order. What did you mean by that? What is the new world order?
Well, it's a great question, Brian, because I think the world is still determining what that order is going to be. And let's be clear what we're talking about first and foremost, which is what is going to govern global trade? What is the role of the WTO going to be? How important are bilateral deals such as the one we're developing, plurilateral deals, if I can use that term, Trans-Pacific Partnership, potential linkages between Trans-Pacific Partnership and the EU? Where is financial regulation, payment system regulation going to fit into that? All of these aspects, use fancy words like the architecture, the multilateral system that has been developing these is being eroded, to use a polite term, undercut, use another term. So the question is, what gets built in that place? How much of a patchwork is it? How much is it just on a bilateral basis? Or where do like-minded countries in certain areas? So like-minded countries, just to be clear, doesn't mean you agree on everything. Aspects, for example, on digital trade or agricultural trade.
You hear what I said? Yeah, I make mention of like-minded. Just as in the ancient world, how the decree went out for the one people, and you were going off of the customs of the heathens. This is how it's going to be on steroids, yo. You're going to go off of the customs of your enemies.
Climate finance as another area. To move into areas of geostrategy, geosecurity, you will have different coalitions that are formed. So what this partnership does is in areas, for example, of clean energy, conventional energy, agriculture, as we were just talking about, and financial services, which we've talked less about, but the evolution of the global financial system, the role of the renminbi over time, the evolution of cross-border payments. I know it all sounds very dry, except for your organization, which I think takes an interest in it. These are important elements of how the system is going to work. And look, the expectation is that...
how this system is going to work. And it is. But yeah, how about Shimon Shah is gonna throw a monkey wrench in that system, because it's just for a time.
Rather than these being developed necessarily through the IMF, the WTO, and other multilateral organizations, it is going to be coalitions that develop them, not for the world, but for subsectors of the world.
Canada and Mexico do well, but the problem is we don't need their product. We don't need cars made in Canada. We don't need cars made in Mexico. We want to make them here. And that's what's happening. Everybody's moving here. From Canada, they're coming here.
Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is in China on a historic 4-day.
So, as I said, I wanted to just show you that clip concerning the rhetoric being pushed concerning the new world order. So as I said, this video is going to be quick and to the point, so I don't want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahawashi, Ba'ashim Kodesh. Shalom.